There are moments in fatherhood that really stand out. The big ones, the trips we planned for months, the nights where we showed up fully present, the memories we hope our kids will carry with them forever. And those moments matter, and they definitely matter to us as dads. But if we're honest, most of fatherhood doesn't really happen there inside of those moments. Most of it happens on the ordinary days, on mornings that feel rushed, on afternoons that just blur together, filled with extracurricular activities and homework and chores and dinner, and on evenings where we're tired before the nighttime routine even starts. And that's where something important really begins to take shape as a family. So you see, our kids don't actually live inside the moments we circle on the calendar. They live inside repetition, inside routine, inside what feels normal. They're watching us even when nothing special is happening. Not in a critical way or a judgmental way, it's just in a quiet way that kids learn how the world works. And they notice how we carry ourselves into the house, right? They notice the tone we use when we're stressed out. They notice what happens when plans change or our patience runs thin. And they don't need explanations, they just absorb it automatically. A lot of us put pressure on ourselves to create these big moments, to make up for the days where we feel distracted, to compensate for being tired, to balance out the stress that we bring home, especially during those really hard seasons. We think, oh, I need to make up for everything that I did or how I didn't show up by planning this big night out or this big vacation. We tell ourselves the highlights will matter. But slowly, without announcing itself, something else is actually happening. Because you see, our kids aren't really watching us at our best. They're watching what repeats. And at some point, that realization it lands. Our kids aren't studying our best moments. They're studying our patterns. The way mornings usually feel, the way conflict usually sounds inside of the home, the way affection usually shows up. And that's the information that actually sticks. And look, this isn't about being flawless. Patterns don't require perfection, but they also don't require intention either. They form whether we're aware of them or not. We don't have to teach our kids impatience. We don't have to explain to them avoidance. We don't have to announce how we handle pressure. Our kids see it and they feel it, and then they file it away as this is how life works and this is how we respond to life. And that can feel heavy until we realize something important. Patterns aren't created in a single moment, which means they also don't change in a single moment either. They shift quietly, subtly, through small changes that stay in place long enough to become familiar. That's why the work of fatherhood often feels invisible. There's no applause for consistency, right? There's no recognition for showing up steady. There's no immediate feedback when something internal shifts. But that's also why it matters. Because what we repeat becomes the environment our kids grow inside. We are literally sitting here building a world for our children. Our home is the entire world for our children until they become adults. And what we're repeating inside that home becomes that child's world. It's not about the speeches that we give our kids, the lectures, the lessons we try to teach. It's not about the promises that we make. It's not even about the big memories that we create. It's all about the environment they're being raised in. So maybe the question worth sitting with isn't what moments are we creating for our kids? What memories are we creating through those big moments? Maybe it's what patterns are we normalizing without realizing it. The tone that they hear most often, all right? The pace that they feel at home, the way conflict resolves or doesn't. That's the blueprint they're going to carry forward. Years from now, our kids won't remember most of what we said. They won't remember every lesson we tried to teach, but they'll recognize themselves in the patterns we lived out in front of them. And as fathers, if we look at that, we can look at the way we were raised and think about it in that way. We can look at our childhood and see the negativity that it had an impact on us as adults and the things that we have to fight and battle to not become like our parents, or we can see the positives as well, the things that we learned that was good at home, right? Our children are going to be the exact same way. And realizing that doesn't create pressure, right? It creates awareness. And awareness is where real change quietly begins.